Hello, big dreamers. Katie Rhines, your registered dietitian, is here outside, coming at you live from Venice, California. I just wanted to go over some things about intermittent fasting and fasting in general. So there are so many amazing research studies and case studies showing us that water fasting even, and juice fasting, and like the True North Health Center and lots of health centers use fasting as a practice to help people heal. This is not one of those videos promoting fasting, actually. Fasting certainly has a place. The Dr. Furman, who I worked for in Florida, has a book all about fasting. And like I said, yeah, just taking away the burden on the body of processing food, especially harmful, inflammatory, carcinogenic foods, you can imagine that giving the body a break will allow it to recuperate, rejuvenate, to heal. Yes, however, this is not one of those videos. I'm going to be going over 8 reasons why not to intermittent fast, actually, and I have my own personal story behind this. Like, I think that it's really important to have freedom with food, to trust ourselves, to indulge, to enjoy, to be in touch with our hunger and fullness cues. And I personally believe, as a dietitian, I love to teach people to feel freedom with food. Okay, so like, here we go. Number 1, you're gonna think about food all the time. So one reason why you probably shouldn't do fasting or intermittent fasting is that basically, like, what are we but wild animals trying to survive out here? And food, we need nourishment. We need these vitamins and minerals to survive, etc., for energy. And when we shorten our eating window, it may cause us to like obsess about food and cause us to think about food all the time. And this is not healthy. Okay, health is not just going over these studies about longevity and shortening our eating window. Yes, there's some benefits as far as like getting back. Maybe it'll help you get back to your hunger cues if you do it like once in a while, or just do like a 12-hour intermittent fast. I think is reasonable, because that's like, you sleep and then, but it shouldn't be something that you're really like thinking about, especially something like a water fast or a juice fast. Like, are these things really necessary? Not really. Like, just transitioning to a whole foods plant-based diet is cleansing and beneficial enough for sure, and you're getting in fiber and nutrients and everything else. So however, like I said, I feel like for some specific cases, fasting certainly has a place. And I also want to say, like, before I dive even further into this, I'm not against fasting. Like, I think that in my religion, on Yom Kippur, I'm Jewish, we fast. And lots of religions, they fast. And it's like, it's a great way to give your body a break, to take a rest, and to like really appreciate food. And if it comes from a spiritual place of like reflection and like taking a step back and not using food to cope with things. So like, food is certainly a real sense of comfort and a real sense of honestly, like, of love. Like, I feel like it's one of the first things like our parents feed us. Like, it's honestly like, people have such an attachment with food and are so addicted to food, and sometimes it's really healthy to go through a fast and like let these emotions run and like not use food to numb ourselves. So like, I'm certainly not against fasting. However, these points are very necessary to go over so that you can catch yourself if you start noticing maybe orthorexic tendencies where you're overthinking about food. So yeah, so thinking about food all the time, number 1, that's not healthy. That's not mentally healthy. We don't want to be thinking about food all the time, okay? Number 2, constantly checking when you can eat. Are you always looking at the clock being like, okay? No, that's basically what goes along with number 1. Like, are you thinking about this all the time? That's not healthy. Number 3, your sleep gets messed up. So some people who I've spoken with, who I've worked with, who have been playing with intermittent fasting, if their eating window ends too soon, like if your eating window ends around 3 p.m., they find themselves having trouble sleeping. And this is definitely not healthy. We want to be able to have a restful sleep. We want to be like nourished enough before we go to bed. Like, certainly I personally feel best when I stop eating about 3 hours before I go to bed. I don't like feeling full right when I go to bed, so I don't like eating, you know, around like 10 p.m. I'd rather eat like around 7 p.m. Just personally, I feel like groggy in the morning. I've really noticed that with myself, and I don't know, maybe you can experience the same thing. However, people who are super active, like athletes, like need to eat right before they go to bed because they can barely get enough calories in. So like everybody is so different. So recommendations are different from everybody. Don't always do what the person you're following on social media does or what I do. Like, really do what works best for you, because we're all like different lifestyles, different activities, different bodies, different likes and dislikes. Okay, so if your sleep is getting messed up from your intermittent fasting regime, like maybe you should be a little bit more flexible and actually like eat when you're hungry and stop when you're feeling satisfied. Number 4, hormones get messed up. So people who incorporate fasting and intermittent fasting more, maybe, I'm speaking for women here, like maybe you'll lose your period, maybe you'll get really moody, maybe your cravings will be really bad and you'll feel really hangry, maybe your sex drive drops. So these are all things to notice when you like are really messing with your diet in general, and if you're being more restrictive with your diet in general, these are all important things to look out for. Number 5, maybe you're binging in your eating window. This is a serious issue. Like, if you're only able to eat within a certain amount of time, I've noticed people tend to eat way too much. Okay, they'll be really hungry and eat way too much, and this is not healthy. We don't want to be like overstuffing ourselves every time that we eat to compensate and to like eat in this window. That's gonna like kind of, you know, doesn't really make sense for what you're trying to do for yourself. We're trying to have a healthy, balanced, free, exciting, fun, indulgent, healthy, balanced, wholesome, amazing lifestyle that's calm, and you know, we don't want to be feeling overstuffed all the time. That's just, yeah. Number 6, oh, I already said this, the whole day revolves around the eating window. Just like, this is like so key. Just notice what's going on in your mind. If you're overthinking about food at all, it's not good. Okay, like, let's just like let it go, chill out, eat when you're hungry, and just like notice what thoughts are you thinking most of the time. And if it becomes an issue, like, hit me up, you know, talk to somebody, see what you can do to like see where this is coming from, and like try and focus on other things, like distract yourself, like go literally, like, no more having food take up all of your headspace all the time. Yeah, number 7, you'll lose touch with your intuition and hunger and fullness cues. So it's really beautiful to actually trust ourselves. Like, really, like, trust yourself. Our bodies are designed to be a certain weight, and it doesn't go far from that when we really trust ourselves. Like, we're not going to be eating donuts 24/7. I promise you. You will crave a salad. Okay, I need to stop saying the word promise. Like, obvious, like, I want to keep my promises, and I don't know what you do or whatever, but just saying, like, I'm very, very extremely confident that you're not going to be craving donuts if you know, let yourself have the donut, let yourself really enjoy it, and move on, you know? Like, you don't have to restrict the donuts. So, like, people who restrict and restrict and restrict and restrict and restrict and restrict will end up binging. Okay, binging is really just the outcome of restriction. Restriction always comes before a binge. Okay? So just make that clear with yourself, so that let's nix the restriction. And where's the restriction coming from? It's probably coming from distrust with yourself, lack of self-love, lack of, true trust and appreciation. And, like, if, you know, sometimes people accidentally fast. Like, if you're out till, like, 3 a.m. eating a ton of pizza and, like, drinking, and then, like, the next day you're just not hungry all day, it's like, oops, I kind of fasted all day. Well, yeah, because you ate pizza at 3 a.m. last night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, it just makes sense to trust your body and, like, eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, and let's set up our lives so that we have the energy and the ability to like tune in for a second, and take a step back and say like, okay, like I'm actually using food to cope with something right now, or I'm actually hungry, I actually haven't eaten in a few hours. Okay, so yeah, really, like, let's get intuitive, let's set an example, let's trust ourselves, let's not diet. Dieting, 98% of dieters gain the weight back within 5 years, according to a Harvard Health study. 98%, okay? Let's stop dieting. Let's stop, like, honestly, overall, I'm not about the intermittent fasting just because, like, it takes up too much of my headspace, and I'd rather trust myself. I think mental health to me and freedom to me is more important than, like, this little boost in, like, longevity type, like, there are a lot of benefits that I don't even want to go into right now, okay? Like, it's okay. I think the mental health, and honestly, I accidentally intermittent fast anyways. I feel like I go to bed and I don't eat breakfast until like 12 hours after that. You know what I mean? That's enough of an intermittent fast for me. Anyways, number 8, if you're always already stressed out in other areas of your life, adding on another stressor probably isn't going to be helpful. So if this is something that's like stressing you out, like, just don't bother. I think that it might not be good for your mental health. And like, not everything is the same for everyone. So for me, in my journey, and for me personally, focusing on fasting and intermittent fasting causes me stress. It causes me to overthink about my food, and it causes me to not be present in the moment and enjoy my life. That's my personal take on it. I'm sure that there's lots of people out there who enjoy intermittent fasting. It makes them feel so much better. They like are able to be free and do other things, and it incorporates so well into their lives. And like, I'm sure there's lots of people out there who feel that way as well. You know, not one thing is the same for everybody. So just like keep that in mind. And yeah, I think that I invite you to do more research on the topic. Look up the True North Health Center and all the case studies that they have using water fasting and intermittent fasting to reverse lots of like seemingly incurable diseases. Our bodies were designed to heal themselves. Our bodies are absolutely incredible. And if you think that a synthetic drug from a pharmaceutical company is able to trump the natural way of things, when our bodies are exposed to loving connection and wild, vibrant, beaming with sunshine and healing qualities in nature, and just like all of the hippie, crunchy things that I am talking about as I just went to yoga, our bodies are designed to heal themselves, okay? And I've seen miracles happen, and I feel like I am a miracle. I feel amazing every single freaking day. Like really, like, wow, life is beautiful. And I couldn't do it without the green juice and the veggies. Oh man. Okay, I should probably close off this video before I say any more weird things. Hit me up at vitamin.katie, K-A-T-I-E, on Instagram. Please leave all of your questions. I hope this helped give you an idea of my view on intermittent fasting. Happy Meatless Monday. Please go meatless. Did you know that going meatless, eating less meat, saves the environment more than driving a car? Or ruins the environment. Eating meat is worse for the environment than driving a car. That's what I tried to say. And the amount of grains that animals eat could easily feed the entire world. There's a lot of reasons why to go meatless, not to mention going meatless significantly reduces the number one killer, heart disease. It significantly reduces your risk of getting heart disease by going meatless, by going dairy free, go vegan. That's what I'm talking about. Whole foods, plant-based for life. Vegan preacher for life. I love you. Hit me up. Have a beautiful, incredible life. Freedom and trust. That's what it's all about. Bye.